Welcome to the Sun A Salutation tutorial. We'll start off today by discussing each individual posture, their hows and their whys, and then later on put the whole thing together with breath so you can see and feel just exactly what this sequence is supposed to be like. Hi, I'm Melissa and I will be leading you through today's tutorial. If you're new here, take a moment and subscribe to the channel below. It really is the best way to support free yoga and bring our little community together. In today's video, I will be teaching you how to do a Sun A salutation the right way, the 7 individual postures it consists of, and why we bother to do them at all so that you can safely and confidently modify your practice to serve your body best. So be sure to stick around to the end of this video while I will let you in on a little secret to the perfect vinyasa. Welcome to Healing Haus Yoga. I am so glad to see you today because it means that you are committed to your practice and ready to dive a little bit deeper. So starting with Tadasana or mountain pose. Mountain pose can be deceiving because it seems like we're just kind of standing there. But the truth is that there's actually a lot going on in the body. Tadasana is a preparatory stance to prepare the mind and body for the action that's to come. So what all is going on during Tadasana? We come to stand on our mat, feet hip-width distance apart, arms long by our sides and the palms face forward with the fingers spread wide. We've all seen this, but the more subtle things that are happening in the body is a broadening of the chest. The shoulders roll back as the shoulder blades knit together down your back. The quads and the glutes engage, lifting your kneecaps, and we distribute our weight evenly between our feet. Next is Urdhva Hastasana. It serves to lengthen the spine, stretch the sides, underarms, shoulders, and belly. It also helps to tone the thighs, aids in digestion, relieve anxiety, and is even therapeutic for asthma. To move through Urdhva Hastasana, we continue with the feet planted firmly on the mat, hip-width distance apart. With an inhale, reach arms up and overhead, lifting the gaze and reaching through the fingertips. The wrists stack over the ankles, keeping the core strong. It's a really common mistake here to dump into the low back. And while doing this once or twice is really no big deal, if you practice often and regularly, as we all should, this repetitive motion can really do your low back some harm. So keep that core strong. Then exhaling, we'll find Uttanasana, or a forward fold. This posture is a calming one. It also helps stimulate the kidneys and the liver to help aid in your digestion. But what you might notice right off the bat is the lengthening and stretch in your hamstrings as well as in the spine. Especially in variations of forward fold where we clasp opposite elbows or interlace our fingers behind the back of the neck and allow ourselves to hang heavy here for several breaths. Now don't worry how far forward you come. Just come as far forward as you comfortably can and rest your hands on the thighs, shins, or blocks if you and the floor haven't exactly become acquaintances yet. Rather than judging yourself, focus on what this posture is for. And if you're getting that nice stretch in the hamstrings and maybe the upper back, then be happy where you are. With repetition, your muscles will lengthen, so practice regularly and enthusiastically. And the subtle work that you're doing today will pay off in dividends tomorrow. From your forward fold, we're going to find a half lift. Also preparatory posture, the half lift allows space for the inhale that's needed for the work of our next pose, which is plank. So with an inhale and a long spine, lift halfway, bringing your torso to be parallel with the mat. Hands may come to rest on the shins, or if you're feeling particularly flexible, your fingertips may stay on the mat. Then exhale, forward fold and plant your palms, stepping all the way back to plank. Here, the name of the game is strength for both the upper body as well as your core. There's a lot that goes into doing a proper plank, but elevated knees is not necessarily one. So if you find that you need to, it's okay to go ahead and lower the knees here and focus instead on the more crucial aspects of plank. So in plank, the wrists are directly underneath the shoulders. Fingertips are spread wide and we distribute the weight evenly between our palms. Then pressing firmly into the palms, lift up and out of the shoulder girdle. The core is engaged, the quads are engaged, and the hips and shoulders are in a single plane. It can be really common what we'll see as they'll slag in the shoulders, lose their low belly, and you end up with this like sway back. We want to have a nice single plane, just like a plank of wood is one solid line with the shoulders and the hips in alignment. So bottom's not too high, bottom's not too low, and we don't have that sway back appearance. And of course, it's always okay to lower the knees. After plank, we'll lower one of two ways, either halfway for chaturanga or all the way down to our bellies, depending on the intensity level that you've chosen for your practice. Before we lower, it's crucial that we shift our weight forward into our palms. That way, as we do lower, the wrists and the shoulders end up in alignment to help prevent us from injuring ourselves. So let's take a look at prone first. We'll shift the weight forward for this transition. Keep the elbows in nice and tight, and then lowering the whole body as a single unit, taking care to protect the low back. Moving through chaturanga is similar, only instead of lowering all the way down to our belly, instead here we'll lower only halfway, bringing the elbows towards 90 degrees. The hips and shoulders lower together as a single unit. And just like a tricep push-up, the elbows are in nice and tight. Something that's super common here is flaring out of the elbows. We don't want to have these big old chicken wings. We want to have a nice tight platform. Otherwise, this can cause injury. And just like with the bowing of the low back, once or twice isn't going to be a big deal. But if we're doing this on a regular basis, eventually this incorrect alignment could cause us some damage. So take care, keep those elbows in nice and tight. As you lower down, find the halfway mark. A great way when you're getting used to how this feels is to take a block and place it just underneath your chest. So when you come down, it should be just about that 90-degree mark. Because you know what? It's actually easier to go farther down than it is to stop at halfway. Now that we've lowered with our exhale, the next position is to lift with an inhale. If you've gone all the way down to your belly, the next posture we're going to take would be Cobra. Low Cobra is great for a whole bunch of stuff. It strengthens the back and the buttocks, opens and stretches the chest, the lungs, shoulders, and the abdomen. It helps to relieve pressure on the sciatic nerve, and like all chest opening postures, is therapeutic for asthma. As you come into Cobra, you'll bring the hands just a few inches in front of the shoulders. Elbows will stay in nice and tight by your sides. And with an inhale, you'll begin to lengthen the arms, but never straightening the elbows beyond 45 degrees. So from prone, we move into low Cobra. What if you chose the more challenging posture of chaturanga, either knees lifted or knees released? Well, if you chose chaturanga, then we will transition into up dog. Its benefits are similar to those of Cobra, only a little bit more intense, providing you with a deeper stretch and also requiring a little bit more strength. From bent elbows, we will point the toes and place the tops of the feet flat on the mat. Engage our quads and our core, and with an inhale, lift the chest and straighten the arms. One of the key differences between this up dog and Cobra is once you've lifted, the hips, knees, quads all come off the mat, whereas with Cobra, they stayed grounded. Then lift the gaze and open the chest by rolling the shoulder blades down your back. Then last but certainly not least is downward facing dog. Downward facing dog is a delightful posture, coming with all of the benefits of an inversion without the necessity to stand on your head. It releases tension and increases circulation and energy levels by increasing the blood flow to the head, the heart, and the lungs. It also has the great little fringe benefit of lengthening the hamstrings, calves, and helping to increase your upper body strength. Transitioning out of Cobra or Up Dog with an exhale, you'll lift the hips up and back, reaching the heels towards the mat and spreading the fingertips wide. Root through the four corners of the palms and disperse your weight evenly. An external rotation of the upper arms helps to maintain the integrity of the shoulder joints. Low belly pulls in, and while the heels might not touch the mat, we'll continue to reach for the mat, maintaining a long spine and letting the head hang completely heavy. A common mistake here is to flex the neck, pulling the head backwards, and most people don't even realize they're doing this. So maybe when you come into your first down dog, give your head a shake yes or no, and really feel for the release of tension in the neck and face. All right, we've gone over all the individual components, so let's put them all together. Make your way onto your mat and we will move through our first Sunday salutation together. Starting with the less intense version, we will be lowering all the way down to the belly and then taking Cobra. So starting out, come into Tadasana. Arms long by your sides and plant the feet about hip-width distance apart. Then with an inhale, reach arms out and overhead, Urdhva Hastasana, making sure the wrists stay stacked over the hips and we don't dump into the lower back. Lift the gaze and really reach through those fingertips, keeping the core engaged and the quads strong. Then exhaling, keeping a long spine, forward fold. Coming down only as far as feels good to you. Then inhale, lift halfway, spine comes parallel to the mat. Then exhale, forward fold, plant your palms and step back to plank, either with knees elevated or lowering them down to the mat. Then exhaling, keeping the elbows in nice and tight, we'll lower as a single unit with a strong core all the way down. Hands come a few inches in front of your shoulders, and inhaling, lift the chest, lift the gaze, and we'll find low cobra. Knit the shoulder blades back and shine the chest forward. Then exhaling, release. Hands come directly under shoulders, tuck the toes, and lift the hips up and back for downward facing dog. Hang the head heavy and spread the fingertips wide. Low belly pulls in and reach the heels towards the mat. Don't worry if they actually make contact. Great job. That sun salutation looked fantastic. So let's go another round. This time, instead of lowering all the way, we'll lower halfway for chaturanga and move into upward facing dog. So from down dog, shift the gaze towards your fingertips and step to the top edge of your mat. Find a forward fold. Then inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach your arms out and overhead, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhaling, forward fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold, and we'll plant the palms, stepping back to plank. Inhale, lift up and out of the shoulders, press through the toes. And then exhaling, shift your weight forward and bend the elbows towards 90 degrees, lowering as a single unit. Then inhaling, upward facing dog, straighten the arms, lift the gaze, engage the core. Only your palms and tops of feet are in contact with the mat. And exhaling, downward facing dog. Lift the hips up and back, reaching the heels down towards the mat. Excellent job, guys. That one's a little bit more challenging, but you made it look like a piece of cake. So let's put it all together on your own now with your choice of vinyasa. With an inhale, shift the gaze towards the fingertips. And exhale, step the feet to the top edge of your mat. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach arms out and overhead, careful of that low back. Exhaling, forward fold, long spine. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold, plant the palms and step back to plank. Inhale, lift up and out of that shoulder girdle. Then exhaling, lower, your choice, either all the way or halfway for Chaturanga. Inhale, low cobra or upward facing dog. Exhaling, downward facing dog. Lift the hips up and back, navel pulls in and head hangs heavy. Meeting up in down dog. Allow the knees to release and rest in child's pose. You've been working really hard and you definitely deserve a break. Don't worry if you found this challenging or if you needed to modify along the way. The secret to a vinyasa or any successful practice is consistency and enthusiasm. So keep up the good work. Don't get discouraged, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. I really enjoyed our time together and I wouldn't want to be here with anybody else but you. If you enjoyed today's video, please take a second and give it a thumbs up. Write us a comment down below or give us a shout at our website at healinghouseyoga.com, where you can also find some awesome stuff like our full-length video on demand library, as well as the opportunity to attend our live video streaming class every Saturday at 11:30 a.m. Central Standard Time with me. Thank you again so much for hanging out with me today. I look forward to seeing you again. Until next time, be well.